Hey everyone, welcome to Static Realms Hangouts. I am Electrish, this is Sammy, and we are here tonight to bring in a very special guest. He is an occultist, he is a singer, a songwriter, he teaches songwriting and singing, and he is Spectre Ball. So let's bring him in.
Hey everybody, hey Electrish.
How are you tonight?
Alive. We're all alive. So
okay, me too. Good. That's a good thing. So thank you for coming. Thank you for being here to speak with me about you and about your music and everything else.
I appreciated the opportunity.
We're happy to have you. So I did bring a prop tonight because we are going to be talking about your Pick Up the Phone song and video. Check this out.
Kick-ass.
Brought out my props tonight just for you. So yeah, let's talk about the music video for Pick Up the Phone. There's your phone there.
Yeah, I got that phone somewhere in some, I don't know, Salvation Army store or something. I actually tried to go home and plug it in to see if it worked, and I forgot I didn't have an analog line in the wall.
Funny how that happens, right?
So Pick Up the Phone was actually written before the video. And what happened was I had some funds and I decided to make the video. And I found some people and, started doing the video. And then the concept came up with the stalking. I mean, the stalking actually came out when there was a person one of my exes was stalking me. That's how the video came up.
Now, originally, it was going to be a song it was going to be a ringtone, correct?
Yes, absolutely. I actually had a Razr phone, and I'm like, oh, man, all these ringtones. I'm like, pick up the phone. It's obvious. Pick up. What are you going to do? Look at the phone? So, yeah, it started as a ringtone and then eventually evolved from that.
This is the first music video that I had seen that you had done. And I found it really, really entertaining because there is sort of a humor in it, but there's also a message as well. And there's a lot of action in it too. So did anything crazy happen during the filming of it?
Yeah. The main crazy part is there's a part in the video where the actress, my God, Natasha, anyway, that was her name. She jumped. There was a point where we guerrilla filmed everything. Okay, so everything in the beginning were we were in Coney Island, so every Friday they'd use fireworks, so we used that to our advantage. There was like 4 people filming the whole thing. So anyway, the firework part, we were running over the bridge or walkway toward the train station, and I was supposed to jump turnstile, and I hit my balls. I jumped it, whacked it, screamed at everybody, you son of a bitch, and everybody was laughing, and I was so mad because my balls hurt so bad.
I'm sorry to hear that, but you know what? It is an awesome video, so if you don't mind, let's go ahead and get into Pick Up the Phone.
Be my guest.
Pick up the phone. Why don't you pick up the phone? Why don't you? A certain way you act, a certain way you move. I know that there's a pain I can't get over you. I know you closed the door and that you have the key. I love the way you think. You can't get over me. A certain way you act, a certain way you move. I know that there's a pain I can't get over you. I do. I hear that you are near. I'm tied to you. I'm tied to you. The life you told me then will never seem to be. The truth is here and now, in front of me. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I hear you calling me. Is it you? I hear you lock the door and that you have the key. I love the way you think. You can't take over me. Well, pick up the phone. Why don't you pick up the phone? Why don't you pick up the phone? Well, pick up the phone. Don't pretend you're not home. Why call that you hung up on me? Lost of breath, please help me. Well, pick up the phone. Why don't you pick up the phone? Well, pick up the phone. Why don't you pick up the phone? Why don't you pick up the phone? Well, pick up the phone. Don't pretend you're not home. Why call that you hung up on me? Lost of breath, please help me. Well, pick up the phone. Why don't you pick up the phone?
Love the ending to that one. It gets me every time.
Actually, you know what's funny? The place in the beginning of where I'm licking the pictures, and the end where I'm sitting in that's like a messed up airport place in my area. That like there's nobody living there, and I mean not living there. It's abandoned and destroyed. I jumped the fence and everything. We weren't supposed to shoot there at all.
Wow. So you just came across that space and you were like, this would be good for my video.
Yes, exactly.
That's thinking like a very creative person. I applaud you for that.
Creative. I had high heel shoes on in that video. And when I stuck them in the fence, one shoe came off, flew off while I was with my sock.
That with your private injury, man, you really had a day.
You do stuff for your art that whatever.
But it's all for the art. Isn't that right?
Yeah. In the end, it's all for the art. So you could look back and say, I remember the good times when I broke my balls looking in the art.
That's okay. You're still here. You're still making great music. So I want to appreciate you. Yeah, I want to talk to you about Ancient Serpents. And before we talk about the video and the song, I want to also ask you, how did you get into being a songwriter and someone who writes about sort of a darker subject matter in your albums?
Well, actually, I started writing dark subject matter even when I was in the metal band.
Right.
So... and in metal, there's always dark subject matter. There's demons, devils, witches, the warlock, going to a castle. I don't know. It's just in metal, it's always stuff like that.
Right,
but,
exactly.
I decided to write, as Spectre Ball, I decided to take my occult experiences and things that I do across the path that I take in my ascension, path into the music that I write. So it's more meaningful, and I always fight with myself thinking maybe I should just write about average everyday things because it might, get a bigger audience.
Don't worry about that. You should write about what speaks to you, I think. So what came first then? Was it the music or was it the experience with the occult? Or...
No, it was the experience with the occult because I used to ditch school and go to the library to witchcraft books. So it was at like 13 or 12 years old. It's weird. You would ditch school not to learn something, but yet you would go to the library and sit there for hours on end before going home.
You know what? I think that shaped you into the intelligent person that you are today. So there's
very
that.
Kind of you.
It's true though. So, yeah, I know your parents were also musicians as well. Isn't that right?
Yeah, they were musicians during the time when the USSR was together. So they would, they recorded an album, and my dad was an orchestra leader, and my mom was a singer.
That's really cool. So there was always music in your house, in your household?
Well, my mom always went to the job to sing in the nightclubs to pay the bills, and she would leave me alone, stick headphones on my ears with no babysitter, and said, "You'll be fine."
Wow.
And, back then, I don't know how now everybody's so, it was different back then. I seen dads give kids beers at 12 years old. Here, son, drink a beer. You know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah. Well, that's true. You never know what path you're going to take, but I think that having music exposed to you at a young age is always good because it gets it in your ear.
Yeah, and you know what it was?
Really?
Donna Summer.
Hey, that's cool. It could have been something worse.
No. Donna Summer was fine. That song, Hot Stuff, I was listening to that all the freaking time.
That's a good one. That's a good jam. So let's talk about Ancient Serpents. So I know that this was your first time making a music video all on your own, correct?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I'm looking at it now, and the color grading, the more I learn about color, you learn when you start something new because you're trying to experiment. And we were in quarantine, and I needed to do something with my cult. I wanted to do a video for Ancient Serpents, but I absolutely had no idea what to do. So the only thing that came to my head is how early MTV videos were, where people would sing in the mic and they would put different screens and just put them all together.
No, but I like about it. Yeah, it's got that whole vibe to it, the retro vibe, but it also is a very interesting song to say the least. So what inspired the writing of that song?
That's interesting. The inspiration of Ancient Serpents is this. A lot of things in spirituality, animals, for instance, have some sort of symbolism to them. So a snake means, knowledge. It could mean wisdom, and it could be things that are hidden. Excuse me, I'm just drinking a lot of ginger tea. And because of that, Ancient Serpents is more of my descent into the Cliponic tree, or the tree of knowledge. It's learning things that are hidden that I never knew that were there. So that's really what the song is about, a descent into the hidden.
I love it. I think it's an awesome song. So let's play the video, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Candle burns, empty shells, drain the fear from me, mountaintops, raging seas, Samael, uplift me. Ancient serpents, ancient vice, tree of knowledge, time to fight. On and on, the shadow howling. Black and moon, dark and sky, ancient mind. blackened moon, the darkened sky, ancient knowledge, serpent's race. On and on, the truth has opened. The truth has opened. The ancient serpents, ancient race. Tree of knowledge, time to bite. On and on, the shadow calling. The shadow calling. The blackened moon, the darkened sky. Ancient knowledge, serpent's race. Serpent's race.
Love the skull at the end of that one.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I love how at the end of most of your videos there's something there to hold your vision on for just a moment before it ends. Unless that's just a coincidence. I think I've seen it in most of your videos.
No, you're right. There's something that I want to leave some sort of impression. I don't just want to end something or something happens.
like that.
Usually they say a beginning and an end is very important when telling a story.
Absolutely. And I think that it's important to put a lot of thought into something that you're presenting as an artist, that's especially if it's personal to you. So that's really good that you.
Well, you as an artist could understand. I mean, you do. I love what you do with the cosplay and everything that you do. I'm fond of it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I've been very lucky that a lot of the artists that we've had on the show have been very accepting of my, I call it just my geekery. So I appreciate that. Thanks.
Look, being a geek is cool now. Being a geek and growing up, you always see being bullied.
Exactly. So I'm glad it's resonating now with everybody. So let's talk about Shells. When did you write that song, and what is that song about?
That's actually funny. That song was written only because of finding out about the synthwave community.
Really?
Yeah. I've seen a lot of instrumentals, and I was wondering, well, I don't usually write instrumentals, honestly. I like singing. So, but I decided, well, I'm going to write an instrumental. And what came to my head is, make it more occult themed. That's it. That's why in Shells, I'm using the movie Night of the Demons, one of my favorite horror movies.
And you put an image of yourself within that, next to that image.
Yeah, which is kind of hilarious because I don't know what I try to do in that. I was just experimenting. It wasn't like ancient serpents were.
It reminds me of the older horror films where you would see kind of like an image overlapped with an image sort of sometimes. So that's I like
cool
it.
Because I never thought of that. I just thought to myself, does this color look close to the movie?
And it did. So well done.
No, thank you. And it was a red light. There was no color correction whatsoever. But I look at it now and I'm like, there's one favorite part I have is with the, the demon in the mirror. And I'm like, I like this part. It's good. Demon in the mirror.
Yeah, definitely. So when you were filming your parts of that, were you watching the movie or the clips of the movie? No. This is
the movie came after. What I was doing is I was filming myself, and then I figure out with the movie later. But what's funny, I didn't have my camera. Anyway, I didn't know how to use the camera correctly that I'm using now. So what I would do is I took a big TV, put it on the wall, and I had to see my mug all the time while I was to see if the angle was right. Because I can't see it in my head. I have to actually visually see what the heck's going on.
Well, I think that in all of your videos, we kind of see you learning as you go, and you've learned so much from the time that you started to now. I think you're doing great, and I still love the video for Shells. I think it's a really awesome video, and the song is great.
I really appreciate it. I like Shells. It's a nice song. It makes me just relax for some freaking reason.
All right, so then let's sit back and relax and watch the music video for Shells. All right, that was another great one. So let's talk about your YouTube channel now, because I have personally watched a few of your videos, and I have to say you have a very great way of describing things and even just explaining things that puts the viewer at ease, which is not something that's very common in that sort of a YouTube channel talking about occult subject. So bravo for that.
Thank you so much. That's a lot of things I don't like about. I don't really watch other YouTube people. They make it so dramatic,
and it gets a little too boring, I think. But yours never gets boring. I think it's very engrossing, and it's very intelligently looked at from your eyes to the viewer. So I
really appreciate that. I was trying to do that. The thing is, I try to do it in a sense of grounding. I mean, we live on Earth. A lot of occultists I've noticed flying over there and forgetting that, we also live on Earth. You kind of have to balance both. There's a reason why you're kind of, what the hell are we doing here anyway?
Yeah, and speaking of balance, you have a balance between having this YouTube channel and having your music and working on all these things. They're all kind of one and the same sometimes, but then I'm sure they're separately have their own challenges for you. So bravo for doing both, because I think it's important that you're doing both.
Thank you so much. What can I say really about the YouTube channel? The reason I started the YouTube channel like this is, first of all, it was a music channel. And since the occult, I do a lot of occult work and, demonology and study of the tree of life, and mostly study of the Cliponic tree, which is the tree of death is what modern people would call it. But it really is just the tree of knowledge of what supposedly Adam and Eve ate from, and that's how supposedly man fell. But anyway, it gives more content. I could create more content. I can't create, and I thought it would be a good idea to do that. And it would help people who are interested in going down some sort of similar path, that it might guide them to something. Because I know that a lot of things, people have to, people who are interested in doing this type of work, it's their own experience. It's their own spiritual experience. You might be reading in one book that, well, this demon or this sort of spirit looks a certain way. Well, to you, it might appear absolutely different. And some people will discount that as not being real. But the truth is that everybody's different, and those things are there to help you get to where you need to go in your ascension. And it'll show themselves the way they want to show themselves to you. That makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I also love that you're able to use your own music in some of the videos as well. It sort of goes hand in hand with your own music, and
I write it there and then, because I thought to myself, if I'm gonna be yapping for about 10 minutes, it's gonna be fucking boring. I need to put somebody in a mood. To me, music is about mood. What mood is it putting me in? What feelings am I feeling from this emotion?
Absolutely. And even music that doesn't have any vocals, like some of your music, like the song we just heard, doesn't necessarily have to have vocals to ensue that mood that we can feel from it. So I love that you have the channel and that you have your music in it. And even you recently posted Opening the Third Eye, a video about that. And we have a clip from it. If you don't mind, we want to show that.
Let's go.
How do you open your third eye?
Now, how do you open the third eye? Well, first of all, find a quiet place to sit. It could be anywhere. Well, I found a quiet place to sit. Why don't you find a quiet place to sit? Now, since we found a quiet place to sit, you could start relaxing. So, you could sit in any position you like, as long as you're relaxed. Try to do this sitting down. Do not do this laying down, because sometimes when you lay down, you fall asleep.
So
It happened to me. I would fall asleep.
So I actually watched that video recently, and I wasn't able to really visualize anything. I just saw the darkness that you discuss in the video. So I was thinking about looking into getting some of the crystals.
The kyanite.
The kyanite, yeah. Where do you actually get those?
I got it at a new age shop actually here in New York. You could just get it online. It's a common blue kyanite. It helped me. So that's why, because every time I would do something, I would sit there. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. What am I seeing? You know, and it would frustrate me so much. But after a while of just relaxing and putting it in the middle of my freaking thick ass eyebrows, I would what's it called? I started seeing like images or colors or something, and eventually it cleared up, and then I could just see things.
Yeah, that's great though.
Everybody's able to do it.
Yeah. Well, the way that you explain it is, it's like I said before, it's very easy to learn and to get yourself into the right mind state watching your YouTube channel. So I think it's great. Just keep doing it, please.
Thank you. And you keep doing what you're doing, because I really love the channel and I love what you do and what Eddie does. I think it's amazing.
Thank you. We will for sure. Now let's talk about your song called Seed and the video for Seed. So when did that song come about?
Actually, that sound come about when I actually changed my monitors in the studio. I wanted some sort of idea of a seed, and when the idea has to do with the tree of knowledge, on planting the seed for ascension to happen or growth in some way. Carrie, I don't know. That was just, this matches. Let me just use this.
I love that movie. I love that you used Carrie.
It just works for the song. So I'm like, okay, even though it doesn't, but you know what? At the same time, she grew into her powers. So it is some sort of an ascension. So you know what? Yes.
Exactly. That's great. And the song is great. It's a really, it's dark, but it's a very powerful song. And I love that.
Well, thank you so much.
Without saying too much, I don't mind if you don't. We want to show the video for Seed.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, he's not coming.
He's coming. Stop it. I'm nervous enough.
All right. Great. Another great one. Love
Thank
it.
you. I actually haven't listened to it in a while, and I was actually impressed myself. I'm like, oh, this song is pretty powerful.
Yeah. So do you constantly find yourself writing new songs?
I try to get inspired. I'm writing another song toward an EP. I mean, Running Out would probably be a single from the new EP, which I'm still building.
Awesome.
One is called Through the Devil's Eyes. And another one, something wearing black, but I'm still working on the lyrics.
Well, it all starts with lyrics and then it becomes a song, right?
No, not with me.
Or not. So tell me about the youngest memory you have of being in a band and writing music with the band.
Oh, that was when I was living in Moscow and I had a metal band.
Ah,
That was a group Spectre. It was still called Spectre, and it was progressive metal.
but it was Spectre with a C and not a K.
Yeah, it
Interesting.
wasn't because I was thinking Ghost.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, I think we have a picture of your album there.
Okay.
Let's see. There it is. Is that you?
Heck no. I have no idea. The guitarist was the freaking designer of the cover, Igor, and funny Igor, but he says, "Listen, look." I said, "Where the hell did you get this? And who the hell is that girl?" He's like, "Oh, I found it some old stock photo from Russia or something."
I thought it was a boy. Okay, cool. And there you are. Look at you. Wow.
Oh yeah.
How old
trying
were
to be
you,
all
how old
cool.
were you in the band Spectre?
21.
Wow, that's awesome. And you guys were actually on MTV, so
Yeah.
we talk about
In
that
Russia.
in Russia.
Well, it wasn't too long. It was maybe a month. We did the video Temple of Ice. Then it was released on MTV and Muz TV, that's what it's called in Russia. And that was kind of it.
Awesome. I think we may have a clip of Temple of Ice.
Okay.
Let's pop it up.
Give me a sign to see the light through the other side. Bring me the clock that stops time. Grab me the strength of the temple. The eye of Horus is mine. Temple of ice, hear my calling. I hear my calling of the damned. Temple of
Memories.
No, you look great. I think it's great.
Yeah, thank you. It was a big pain in the ass to shoot.
So Night Razor Music is asking what my companion with the glowing eyes here, what his name is.
Yeah,
So
I was wondering too.
this is Sammy. He's my roommate, and he's also my intern. So he's wearing a Static Realms Music Hour T-shirt. So if you guys, if you're interested in modeling a T-shirt such as this, you can visit our TeePublic site.
Take after Sammy. He knows style.
Yeah, he does what I tell him to. So yeah, so let's talk about your newest music video, which we have all been waiting for. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen the video yet. It aired today. I watched the premiere, and it's an incredible video. Can you tell me, first of all, how long did it take you to film and create this music video?
It took me 2 weekends to do it.
Wow.
So 3 days, so 6 days. Actually, maybe more because I did 2 weekends of shooting and then 1 weekend of editing.
That is awesome. Before we go into this video, there's actually another video that, if we have time, I want to show. It's Mass Extinction, which is a really, really powerful music video that you created. Can you tell me about that video?
That video only came about because I saw Greta Thunberg? I hope I'm saying that correctly because I don't know Swedish well. Anyway, she went and talked to what I don't even remember what it was, honestly, about her ideas of global warming or something. And when I watched it, I didn't see that. I saw a metal version of it. I saw somebody create a metal version of it.
Right, yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, my God, this reminds me, after watching the original, this reminds me of 1984. This reminds me of some apocalypse or some shit going on. So then I wrote the music around that, but then I made the drum beat first, so it actually was on her voice, so it matched up with how she spoke.
Yeah, and there's moments in the video that you manipulated her voice just a little bit in those certain moments, and I think that what you did with not only the music but also the manipulation of her voice and just that synth that you used, I think that it really takes you into the moment, and I think that her speech is even more powerful, if that is even possible, from what you did with it. So, bravo! It's a good.
Thank you. No, because it got boring. I was listening to it. I'm like, I have to do something. It's not grabbing me yet. So that's kind of what I went with that.
Yeah, you made it a little more cinematic and kind of more dark. So
no, I just like cinematic stuff.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and play the music video for Mass Extinction.
What's your message to world leaders today?
My message is that we'll be watching you. This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you? How dare you? For more than 30 years, the science has been crystal clear. How dare you continue to look away and come here saying that you're doing enough when the politics and solutions needed are still nowhere in sight. You say you hear us and that you understand the urgency. No matter how sad and angry I am, I do not want to believe that. Because if you really understood the situation and still kept on failing to act, then you would be evil, and that I refuse to believe. The popular idea of cutting our emissions in half in 10 years only gives us a 50% chance of staying below 1.5 degrees and the risk of setting off irreversible chain reactions beyond human control. 50% may be acceptable to you, but those numbers do not include tipping points, most feedback loops, additional warming hidden by toxic air pollution, or the aspects of equity and climate justice. They also rely on my generation sucking hundreds of billions of tons of your CO2 out of the air with technologies that barely exist. So a 50% risk is simply not acceptable to us, we who have to live with the consequences. To have a 67% chance of staying below a 1.5 degrees of global temperature rise, the best odds given by the IPCC, the world had 420 gigatons of CO2 left to emit back on January 1st, 2018. Today that figure is already down to less than 350 gigatons. How dare you pretend that this can be solved with just business as usual and some technical solutions? With today's emissions levels, that remaining CO2 budget will be entirely gone within less than 8.5 years. There will not be any solutions or plans presented in line with these figures here today, because these numbers are too uncomfortable, and you are still not mature enough to tell it like it is. You are failing us. You are failing us. But the young people are starting to understand your betrayal. The eyes of all future generations are upon you. And if you choose to fail us, I say we will never forgive you. We will not let you get away with this. Right here, right now, is where we draw the line. The world is waking up. And change is coming, whether you like it or not. Thank you.
We need an 80s cartoon. Thank you.
Apparently we need something to cheer up after that. But you know what? I think it's a very important message, and it's a very important video that you have created, and you know what you did with it. Like I said, it really makes it even more powerful. So well done on that.
Well, thank you. That was the point of it. Music can really change everything in mood.
Exactly. Music is a universal language, and you know, it depends what you do with it, what you decide to do with it. And I think that what you do is very important. So the fact that you put so much thought into your music, into everything that you do, is very impressive, by the way. So
oh my God, that's very heartwarming. Thank you. No, really.
It's the truth, though. Speaking of your video, which I already jumped into before, but so Running Out. Brand new release, came out today. This music video, I understand, was probably the most involved that you've done. And yes. You've learned a lot. As I said before, you've kind of been on this journey throughout making all these videos. So tell me, what is the biggest take from this one for you?
The biggest take for me is not color correction, that's part of it, but actually planning it out. Planning it out, it would make everything. I had the idea in my head, and I thought, well, maybe I was planning it out in my head. So the biggest take for me is learning how to try to get a story. So it's, you know, beginning, medium, end. That was very important to me in this video, and making sure that I could make it the best quality and not boring. And I learned a lot about editing that I didn't know before. Yeah. And also getting, you know, different shots of the camera that you would see from below, from atop, from behind, you know, things that to make it much more interesting. I don't know. Somebody said David Cronenberg to me at one point about the video.
Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense. And there is a lot of depth to it. I want to ask everyone watching, we're going to show the video, but I want to know if you guys can spot, there are two sort of Easter eggs in this music video. So after seeing all the other ones that we've shown and seeing this one, if you can spot them, call them out in the chat, because that's something brilliant that you did in this music video too, is you added elements that we've seen, but we're seeing them in a different way. And I think that's really cool.
I did it because it's fun. People like to see Easter eggs if they, you know, used to seeing another video and they know it well.
So not only that, but the lyrics and your vocals are really, really on point with this one too. So with that in combination with the visual aspects, I think you knocked it out of the park. So this is probably my favorite thing that you've done so far.
To be honest with you, I think it's my favorite thing that I've ever done myself. I'm proud of it. I actually sat there and thought, I'm proud of this piece. Even if nobody likes it, I'm happy with what I did.
Well, we love it. I think it's awesome. I think there is
you.
so much music right now out there, but yours definitely stands out and it's very unique. And I think that it's important as well to see that. And, you know, you have such variety, but you also have a point to what you're doing. And I love that.
Oh, that means a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, all right. So we are going to go ahead and show this awesome music video for Running Out.
A sickness is coming, a viral disease, hidden in the air, people fall to their knees. A state of emergency, a country in fear, people losing their minds, the end is near. Running out of the things that we need. Lots away, to be safe from disease. Stay away, get away, hit the wheel to survive. Running out, time is not on our side. Here comes the ugly. Here comes the storm. Media mass hysteria. Nightmares are born. Descend into the body. Unaware. I feel it taking us over. To live in fear. Running out of the things that we need. Lots away, to be safe from disease. Stay away, get away, hit the wheel to survive. Running out, time is not on our side. Running out of the things that we need. Lots away, to be safe from disease. Stay away, get away, hit the wheel to survive. Running out, time is not on our side. Running out of the things that we need. Lots away, to be safe from disease. Stay away, get away, hit the wheel to survive. Running out, time is not on our side.
Yes, awesome video. Every single time I watch it, I love it even more. And I notice more things too, which is cool.
Thank you. If you go back to watch a video and there's some stuff that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
You don't want to watch something and go, I don't remember shit.
I love that you're limited to a time frame with a music video, but you're also unlimited with your ideas. So, you know, you can kind of do as much as possible within that time frame of your song for the video.
Thank you so much. No, I'm very happy. It's one of my I don't like to say things like this, but it is one of my favorite songs I've done. It was like it's a stamp, because now the music that I'm doing now is actually going toward that.
I love it. I think it's great. So you're working on an EP kind of more or less now?
Yes, with this type of thing. I mean, this type of direction. I mean, it's similar to what I do, but this seems like it's more formed.
Yeah. It's like an evolved version of all of your music from the past to now, in my opinion. Yeah. It sounds great.
So I just need to when I'm doing more work on my new songs, I'm using this as a template, actually.
Absolutely. Why not? Why not? So what can I mean, of course you're working on the EP. What else are you currently working on?
That's kind of it. Trying to figure out more work toward the magic channels. I'm trying to put in interviews with other people who do occult.
That's interesting.
In their life. And you actually gave me that idea. Thank you so much.
I got the idea while watching your channel because, as on your own, you're great at what you do. But I think it would be interesting to hear another person who is involved in the occult to be speaking with you.
I was just thinking to make it more interesting because, listen, in the end, it's entertainment. I don't care what education, it's entertainment. I'm going to watch you speak. There's some occultists that do rituals. You see a person like I did a ritual of necromancy when I try to contact Aleister Crowley. But I try to make it interesting. It doesn't get boring. I see these people sit there for 4 hours. I'm not going to look at your ass for 4 hours. I'm bored. You might be feeling emotions and you might be feeling some sort of something happening, but I don't feel shit. And if I don't feel shit, I'm going to shut you off. That's just
exactly. What it is. Well, I love that you want to keep things entertaining and keep things fresh. I think as an artist, you're definitely you're making the right decisions. You're making very good decisions. So keep doing what you're doing. We have to say goodbye soon, but I just want to say, if there's any last words that you have for the audience out there, I would love to hear what you have to say.
My last words to y'all is, first I want to say everybody thank you who came. I also like to thank Static Realms, Trish, Eddie, for having me on there. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. I would like to say that everybody who does any type of art or anything, you are on your own path. You follow your own path, and you do not listen to anyone unless it helps your path. If you want to start music or any type of art at fucking age at 60, who gives a freaking fuck? You do it how you want to do it and make yourself happy so that you evolve in what you need to be. That's what I want to say.
Well put. I agree completely. Wholeheartedly.
Even though the F words, but whatever.
If you have an idea, just go with it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate everyone out there watching. Keep listening to the music because he has more in store for us. So
thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
So